the Vanna wave, right? Is it? I think that's the Vanna wave. What's up, everybody? Ooh, I'm low today. Hold on here. There we go. How is everyone today? We've been busy. The Kobold dens have been super busy. The Warrens are packed. And then we're moving one of our dens, as you know, our warehouse sale's going on because we're moving our warehouse to the Midwest to make it easier for people to get things and to get it cheaper and faster, along with being able to ship to Canada cheaper. I know all the Canadian friends out there have been asking for something. We found a solution. It was pack our shit up and move. That's what's going on. So we're moving it into the Detroit area, which gets it a little easier. We're driving across a bridge. So that's going on. We'll go over to the warehouse sale and show you what's going on. We're going to be adding new items throughout this month before we do our move to kind of cycle out as much as we can. Because if you don't know, wrapping pallets sucks. If you've never wrapped a pallet in your life, it's not fun. It's pretty horrendous. So we're trying to dwindle those down as much as we can. So we're going to go into that. What's up, Frog? We have a couple other things we're going to dive into as well. The pre-orders are up for the Tome of Beast Revised 2023. It's a nice glimpse into what Tales of the Valiant's going to be. And please forgive me. I'm probably going to say Project Black Flag a lot. I've been saying it since January. I haven't been able to do anything but use the code name. Now I can use the name, so I'm probably going to say both for a while. Consider it a rollout, and I'm helping you learn the name. That's the reason. That's totally the reason. Anyway, let's get into some of the stuff we have going on. Today we're going to be talking to these wonderful folks, Tabletop News. We're going to be going over their Kickstarter, why they're doing a news broadcast, what their ideas are, and really just kind of get into the nitty-gritty of the process. I love news. I grew up in a newsroom, and I think the idea of someone finally doing Tabletop News is awesome. If you know me from my other shows, two of that family are on my shows quite frequently, and they reached out, so we're going to do that today. But before we bring them on, prepared right now, the expanded collection hardcover. This is up. It's a future release. It's to be released in the future. This is our next prepared venture. So if you're looking for something new, this is going to be, I think this comes out, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is a pre-order, and I think we're talking August. Yeah, August 2023. Don't be surprised if you see it at Gen Con. That's a secret. That's a secret. So this is up right now. Obviously, for those who made it to our awesome show, our campaign builder, Cities and Towns, this was a Kickstarter that did way better than we expected. We were all passionate about it because we love to make stuff. And I guess you guys do too. The VTT is now up. You can pick up a shared license key for Shard. And don't worry, you'll see it on other ones. We're just slowly wheeling them out. Every single VTT is like doing it all over again. So when you do it for Shard or Roll20 or Foundry, you kind of have to redo that process. So they all have their own things that they need to get them done. They're getting rolled out as we go. And then the moving sale. Like I said, moving sale, we're adding new stuff. By the way, for those who were there, for our wizard actual play, this was the art we used for our wizard. So he's leading the charge, the candle keeper. So these are all the things that are currently up, all at discounted rates, and these are all physical products, obviously, because we're trying to get them out of the warehouse, and you can pick these up. The biggest one I will tell you, if you're looking for a dungeon to run and you don't own Scarlet Citadel, this buy as a GM is amazing. If you're looking for a mega dungeon, this is $53.99. It's won awards. It's now $20, and you can get the entire map pack as well, and that's the map folio. It's, I think, 13 posters and 20 overlays. It's an entire dungeon. So if you want something that's 5e, or if you're savvy and you can hack that thing into whatever you want, or you can play test some I was gonna say Project Black Flag. I almost said it. Tales of the Valiant. And then you can see all the other things that are on here you can pick up. Vault of Magic is also amazing, and the Pocket Edition is for sale as well. Pocket Edition is usually $26. It's $16. And don't worry, we didn't raise the shipping price. This isn't a bait and switch. Because that's what I would have done. I would have bait and switched. I'm just saying that would have been the smart thing to do. But that's that. That's it. That is my news on this front. There's the Tales of the Valiant. We got another packet dropping this month. We have a special guest for the packet when that comes out. And then we're going to go in and probably, I would say beginning of May, we're going to do another actual play with our Swolebald fighter and our wizard, what do we name him? Hans Flexus Those two are going to be duoed up. Maybe I'll get someone to come play one of them. And we're going to do our 3-stage Treant fight. I really want to see if I can get Wolfgang to come play the Treant. I just think that him playing the Big Bad would be super entertaining. But we'll see. So with all that said, deals. That's right, Adam. Deals. Let's just dive into the fun part. Today we're going to be talking to Tabletop News. If you have not seen this is an ongoing Kickstarter campaign right now. And they're looking for support to bring us news. And honestly, after the January debacle that had us all pulling our hair out, I would have loved to have a fucking news source. I'm just saying. It's just the truth. So let's bring him in here. We've talked about our warehouse sales. I think we've done everything else. Warehouse, our new name. I think we'll talk about that with him. And then we'll just bring Tabletop News over. What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here for the chatting.
Mm-hmm. Lots of talking and chatting. You don't have to play a game this time. I know you guys have been playing a lot of games lately.
We've been playing so many games. The last one I got to play was the bloodthirstiest round of Pretty Princess that I think has ever existed in mankind. Look.
Princesses are backstabbers. We all know this. We've watched Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
We know how this goes.
It was pretty. I think it was the closest. It was basically Game of Thrones.
Was it Red Wedding? Were you almost at Red Wedding?
I think it was Red Wedding because we had. I mean, for those, many people have watched it by this point over on our YouTube. But the gracious Matt Mercer joined us and. Then won, and the power went to his head.
Did you let him win?
Did not let him win.
I feel like you let him win.
No. Oh no. I am so competitive. I was like, look, I know Matt Mercer's here. I am not going to stop. I am. There's something out there called the Strengths Finder that I did in college. And it's like supposed to help you figure out like what are you really good at. And my number one strength was competition. I am not just letting someone win a game. But it was the spin and the audience was chipping in. And,
I'm pretty sure it's the long white gloves he's wearing that made him.
Oh, those magical like.
He won.
He got into character.
Music's a bit loud. I got you, buddy.
Yeah.
I think that Pretty Princess, for those who hasn't played it, is a great drinking game.
I think it would be.
It is. Yeah. It is a great drinking game. Everybody, let's start off. You get a couple lines in front of you, a beer. Let's go. You got some shots to go. It'll be great. It'll be a great game. It will be pretty bloody princess by the end. I promise.
Oh yeah, it'll get cut throat. We also played. I was not here for this one, but we played the Heroes of Barcadia, which
what is that?
It is I believe it is a actual drinking party game.
Oh, okay.
Bar.
And I wasn't invited. I'm
insulted.
So sorry.
I
live in Milwaukee. I feel like that is just a missed opportunity.
I know. I think we had a lot of water and soda in our. But it was released by Rollicrit. It was something that they had gotten funded.
I'll look that up. Here, I'll make some notes here.
We've been working with Rollicrit. They're one of our partners for producing some of the many things that we have that are perks for our Kickstarter. They've been great, and so we had a lot of fun playing that game of theirs.
Well, let's talk about that. You all, I mean, I'll just take it to us for a second. You all are doing a Kickstarter. That's here. You've got the amazing Becca Scott on here, but let's actually talk about like why you all are doing this, because this is not a normal thing to go to Kickstarter for in the tabletop industry. So I'll give a little precursor. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but Two Kings is the company doing this. That's the production house.
That's the
the umbrella. Underneath that, Dragons and Things is something that we're all very familiar with.
Yep, Dragons and Things is a part of that umbrella. Yep.
And then now, is this just part of that grand umbrella? Is that the game plan to have a news source as well as your streaming content that you do?
Yeah. So Two Kings Entertainment is that the overarching
the big ball
part of that. Yeah. Yes. Our focus very much this year has become tabletop news. It is something that our executive producer Adam Rady had thought of. He'd been thinking.
I still don't think he's a real boy, by the way. I still have not met him or talked to him. I think he is just a moniker for somebody else.
Yeah, you know what? I can neither confirm nor deny that. Adam Rady, man, I don't know if you're a MASH fan, but it's Captain Tuttle all over again.
I am.
But no, Adam Rady is very much real. So he had this idea. He was talking with Michelle Nguyen Bradley, who is another one of our producers. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I had been thinking that the industry needs this as well."
Yeah,
and
you're not the only one. I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's one of the great things that we've seen from the support that we've gotten for this Kickstarter, for the love that's been poured out. It's just people wanted this, and so I was told about it. I think that around beginning quarter of last year.
Oh, okay.
We've been working on this for a long time.
I mean, I was out there in November when I went to go see Perception Studios and visit some friends, and I think the stage was already built. Like, the set was there. Like, the concept was in place. I was like, hey, Adam, not Rady. He's fake. He's not a real person.
Right.
But Khan, I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, I can't say anything. I'm like, I have an idea. I think I know what this is. Yeah. And sure enough,
that's good on you. We had an amazing set designer come in. I've done my part as well. I've been for the last little bit working with Two Kings, helping them around the studio, doing a lot of like the handiwork, putting up lights, things like that. If you've ever watched Dragons and Things and you've seen our dungeon set, that was a lot. So like I was very hands-on with the process, but then was brought in, the mystical Adam Rady was like, hey Nathan.
Now he's just mystical.
He's who knows?
So sending him a unicorn when this is over.
He was like, hey, got this idea, would love to bring you on as a host. And I was like, great. And then it was like, hey, we're gonna need some writing too. It's like, great. Hey, why don't you produce with us? Okay, great.
So numerous hats, like any other studio.
Like any other studio. I mean, everybody's wearing multiple hats on our team, and it's wonderful. I mean, like, for anyone who's run a Kickstarter, if you haven't, it's a stressful time. And so having a team of people around you who know what's going on is so helpful, because you can hand things off. You can say, hey, I need a mental break. Great, we got you. That's been, I think, one of the best parts of our team, is just our willingness to be there for each other, first and foremost.
Sure.
Yes, we want this show to happen, but we're not putting it ahead of each other, right? Like, because this show in and of itself was created for the people. So there's been a lot of gaming news that's happened. We've been working on this before that even happened. We've wanted to bring this to the space, and we've just kind of seen more and more just the news that's come out. We've just seen like, okay, this has
been a news year.
It's been
a big news year.
Very newsy. And
my gosh!
And here's the thing: is that's from the big players, right? And the goal of Tabletop News is to cover those things, because that is a huge part of the industry. I mean,
but it's trickle down. It really is.
There are so many people involved, so many small businesses. I mean, when you expand it all the way to the game stores, the local game stores that put the books in the people's hands for the first time, that sell the first set of dice.
It's true.
It's a billions of dollars industry,
but it's so small. It's so tight. Like, everyone knows everybody, but there's nobody actually talking to them and putting out everything in a digestible format. That's my big point of view. Is I'm so sick of going to 5 sites and still not finding anything on the indie studio that I'm talking to, or and that's because I'm researching them because I want to either interview them or have a conversation. I can't find news on them. And when January happened, everybody's world shook. I mean, Kobold Press, we pushed forward Project Black Flag, which is now Tales of the Valiant, a whole year so that we could start it, because we wanted to make sure that everybody could still keep playing game that they, play already. It was weird, and that was the same for anybody else who was producing. Obviously, that whole thing has kind of been cleaned up a little bit, but that month was the most news we have ever seen for the tabletop industry. Yeah, and some of it was positive.
Meanwhile, we're sitting here knowing that we're going to launch a Kickstarter, knowing that we've got a news source, and we're just like,
Hey man, you had the stage. I'd have sat there and just started shooting news for it, and then put it all out later. Be like, this is samples of stuff from January.
Yeah, we were knee deep in figuring out Kickstarter by that point.
Dude,
so it was,
is this your first Kickstarter as a company?
This is our first Kickstarter as a company. I know Two Kings and Dragons and Things have used
been a part of it
like
before.
Patreon.
Yeah.
But they've never nobody on our team has done a Kickstarter, and so we've gone to people who have. We've talked to those wiser who have been through the trenches, and we were lucky enough to talk to some people at Kickstarter of just like what can we do to do this well. And so we've done our best to bring what people want, right? Because we understand we're a little different. We understand we're a show, and Kickstarter is a place of a lot of physical things that you're buying. And so how do I justify giving money so that you can do a show? And so we've tried to be as transparent as possible.
Sure.
On Kickstarter.
That's the only way to do it, to be honest. Otherwise, you get bitten.
Yeah. Yeah, just showing like this is like so much has to go to the Kickstarter. That's just like Kickstarter takes a percentage, and why wouldn't they? They've given us a site and the ability to bring all this in and a way to market it, and so they are a business and they will have their percentage. We've got to make all the things that we are giving you. Shipping costs. You were talking about wrapping up pallets. I mean, like that's in our future.
Yep.
I used to do that. I had a job at Ace Hardware during during the pandemic. I had to get a job.
Oh, and I worked for way before that, but yeah, I'm old.
Hey, great place to work, but I've spent my time around a pallet.
Oh god,
just getting it set up, unpacking it. So
no way, I won't get dizzy wrapping a pallet. Then you haven't wrapped many of them because you will get dizzy wrapping a pallet. Running around holding it with the two spindles. Oh yeah, man, I'm quite familiar with it. Quite familiar. So let's talk the Kickstarter then. I mean, you mentioned it. You guys you're going into doing this. You got 8 days left, and this is the home stretch. I've seen a lot of companies quit during the last week, thinking that there's no way to swing the trend up, which is not true. I've done over 20 Kickstarters, and your first week and your last week are your strong weeks. The middle is the part that you got to figure out what to do. You're going out doing press and doing the things you guys are doing right now.
Yeah.
But this last week is the home stretch, and you guys are real close.
We are very close. We're very excited.
Real close.
Is it 80?
You're at 128,939.
128,939. So that's over 80%. I'm trying to remember if that's 80 or 85. Let me see if I've got my handy dandy. 85%.
I mean, I would have just said 85, yeah.
85%. That's what it is, yeah. Well, I don't like, look, transparency, I don't lie. 85% is where we're at, which is very encouraging. You're totally right. We had many a day where the curve was flattening, and we were wondering, what can we do? What more can we do? How can we show people that we're invested in the community, that we want to deliver this, and that we are the people to do it? And so we started going out, doing our due diligence, talking to people. We've gotten to know a lot of actual play podcasts. We've gotten to jump on with some. We got. I know we had 2 of our producers on with Czech Games playing some code names last week. Like we've just really invested, and a lot of those connections have been. We've had plenty of people reach out to us and say, how can we help? Because the industry seems very much behind the idea of a news source. They want this.
For many years, the only way that publishers and people who are doing something within this industry could have their name out was back in the day, Geek and Sundry for their blogs. That was one. That's not really around anymore. I mean, it did its time. It paved a way for everybody.
Yep.
But you can't go to them for that kind of news stuff anymore. And you also can't submit news to them or say, hey, we're doing a tour for XYZ for media. The only way to do it now was banner ads. And banner ads, while they're okay, they're kind of like billboards. Like, we know they're there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it ends. But short form media, your TikTok, your YouTube shorts, your Facebooks, all that is a better way to get quick media out in digestible bites. And on your YouTube, you guys have already kind of been putting that forward. Like nice, clean, quality YouTube pieces of stuff. This is the prettiest girl at the party.
Right.
And this is 2 of your people.
Yep.
correct? Yeah.
That's Katie and Michelle. Those are producers and hosts.
So like this,
There's Matt Mercer.
Yeah, there's Matt. So this kind of stuff's super cool to see. Are you going to do this though with the news aspect of it as well? So like, if the topic is, say, a new Kickstarter drops, it goes from 0 to hero, like the Grimdark one that just did, I think, 1.3 million out of nowhere. Like it's a old school OSR style game. It exploded. If you guys do a news piece on that, is that going to get converted into short form media? Is that the concept, to make bite-sized pieces as well to consume in your news feed?
Yeah, so the main mentality here is that we are going to have our YouTube page is where you're going to go if you want to sit down and watch the entire news front to back.
Okay.
There is some discussion. We have not landed on the idea of a podcast yet, but we do know that there are people who
it's not
are
hard
in
to
the
do.
car and they need to listen.
I highly recommend stripping it to podcast form. Highly recommend it.
Which would be pretty simple, right? Because we're going to take the audio of it and give it to you. Now, you've got that full episode, but we also know that people on TikTok, especially TikTok, are not necessarily going to jump over to another place.
It's a hard one to move.
Twitter's okay. Instagram is tough because you can't, in the body of the text, even do. So it's like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to connect with people where they are? We're going to take that episode, and if there is a 30-second, minute-long story, we're going to cut that section out. And then we're going to deliver it to you on your Twitter feed, on your TikTok feed, on your Instagram Reels. It's going to be everywhere. And that gives you a chance to see it instead of having to go click through to other places. I got to click from this article that just landed on Twitter. I got to click through and read it on this site. And it's, I mean, like, the thing I've been saying is my attention span has shortened as technology has advanced. I think a lot of people have been going through that. I've just got a shortened attention span. I've definitely been the person who's talking to my wife. I was like, oh yeah, I saw this article that says this, and she's like, oh, what more? I was like, no, it said that. That was the one line. Now. Look, that's me scrolling. When I'm on the job for news, I'm researching. But you go to these websites and it's a 10-minute article. It's going to take me 10 minutes to read it. And it's in depth and it's telling me the information. But there is a way. I mean, let's face it. If we watch a news channel, they're going to give you most of their stories in 30 seconds to a minute.
That's a way to disseminate the news down. 100%.
It's how you break it down. And so we're trying to do a similar thing. The comparison has been we're trying to combine it with a sports center mentality.
Oh, okay.
So it's news.
That's a weird word to use in the tabletop industry.
I know, right? Sports center, but
that's weird.
But the mentality is that Sports Center still has some levity to it.
Of course.
Sports Center has color, as you can see just the set behind me, and it's fun, and so you don't always get that with a news channel.
It reminds me of that Poppy roller skating rink. I love it. It reminds me of the walls at a roller skating rink. 100%.
Yeah, I was gonna throw on my blades later and just do a lap while the chicken dance.
Do you guys all skate to set?
Oh yeah. Are you kidding? We clear out this table. We're just skating.
So
that would be. We gotta sign the insurance stuff.
That is. Skate to set, baby. Skate to set. So you guys are talking about this becoming a weekly series. Is this once the Kickstarter ends? Like, you're going to just do 10 weeks? Are you going to do a year? What is the game plan when it closes and it funds and you do a weekly series? Is it every Monday, 5 on the dime? Like, how are you guys doing this?
So the mentality is going to be that it is a weekly series. I believe our aim at the moment, we want to get it into your hands at the beginning of the week. So either Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. We're going to have a quick turnaround because we're going to have spent the time with our research team, our writing team, and then we got to get in studio.
Yeah.
And is there any breaking news that morning that we're going to swap out a story?
Yeah, you got the hot spot. Yep.
Exactly. So we're going to be working on it and then try and get it to you as early in the week as possible, regularly. Boom, here's the new episode.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, the mentality is right now, I mean, we're trying to fund 10 episodes.
Okay.
Now, we had some stretch goals that could guarantee more episodes, and depending on how big that upswing is at the end, who knows how many we can guarantee.
Sure.
But there is, we're out here in Los Angeles, and a lot of us have just been in production. that it costs a lot to produce a show of high quality.
It does, because the amount of bodies that are required for it.
Exactly.
Even if you had the set, have the gear, have the stuff, hours on set, writing, producing, editing,
editing, exactly. and so, I mean, like, to edit, that could be a full day of editing for someone. With even, you know, we're trying to get our workflow as streamlined as possible.
Ooh, I'm getting brought coffee.
Ooh, hey, there you go. Congratulations. Nope, not me.
Nope, sorry. One-way street.
But yeah, so we're looking at 10 episodes to start. Again, that all depends on the funding, and it also depends on the response of the community, because anyone can see on our Kickstarter that some of our levels are episode sponsorship, segment sponsorship. Those two things are things that we are going to continue to offer to the community, you know, depending on how many episodes and segments we have. But those are an opportunity for us to keep going. If we get people who say, I am loving this show, I want to fund a segment for it, great, then we're going to be able to crank out another episode or two.
Well, you've seen Dropout TV do this. I mean, Dropout moved from, originally they were College Humor. A lot of the people were. They left College Humor, and then they made their stuff for a long time. What was it? Project Alpha, a lot of stuff was on for a while. That was Critical Role and a couple of those people. And then they made, when the Dome got big for Dimension 20, they started making all their stuff under Dropout. And they have all their game shows and shorts. Are you, as a company, are you looking to do something similar to that long term? Is this kind of like the starting point to being able to make a platform for yourself, going back into like Dragons and things and other pieces as well?
Yeah, look, if we're talking the dream...
Perfect scenario.
Perfect scenario, we are able to do more and more to benefit the gaming community. So whether that's going to be a company saying, hey, we would love you to do a playthrough of this game for us. We could do that sort of thing. If that's us making an actual play, you know, the world is our oyster. We've got that watch tabletop mentality.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of the umbrella here for those ideas. But when it comes down to it, like, we got to make tabletop news happen first, right? So there's the dream. Would we love to do more? Yes, obviously. Like, we are all here delivering this news because we love games. We love board games. We love TTRPGs. We love war games and just setting those up, card games.
Well, the entire cast and crew are all gamers. There's not a single person on there that isn't a gamer. Like, just from my personal experience with the people who are on there that I know outside of this conversation, they're all gamers. It's not like they show up and kind of game on set. They play games. Like, that's their thing. Like, they're seen all over doing such things.
Not just TTRPGs.
No,
I
everything.
Think that's a lot of people have stopped by and said, this looks like a lot of people who play TTRPGs. I'm like, I mean, you haven't been to my apartment where I open up a giant cabinet full of games.
Are you the guy who has the backpack with all the games in it? No, that's Jared. Jared's got the backpack with all the games in it.
Jared does have one of those. What I have is the blue IKEA bag. You know that huge IKEA bag?
The indestructible.
That's what I'm rocking. Yeah, that's what I'm rocking.
And
for $1.
And for some clarity here, I have it on screen. Why the episodes that you guys put out on YouTube were all goals that you had, correct? So like Enshrine, Pretty Princess, Prompter Pros, that sounds awesome.
That's going to be a lot of fun. We're still gearing up that one. The Pretty Princess, yes, that was a social goal that was unlocked, and Matt Mercer was kind enough to join us for that.
Of course they want a news outlet. There are none.
Yeah.
Why would they want a place to do it?
And Matt was even here. We've got, I believe, some clips on our socials already, thanks to our social team. But Matt was even saying, you know, they tried something like this.
And
they did. It was just, he even said it was a pretty big lift. And
it's a huge lift.
Everything they've got going on, they put focus elsewhere, and nobody can blame them for it. Like, they are Critical Role. They are telling such amazing stories, and they are doing such huge things. And
they already got a big lift.
Yeah, exactly. They've got a lot going on, and so to have him stop by and just show that support and say, hey, like, this is something that the industry needs, and I'm here for it. Was really encouraging.
What was the name of the show that Becca was doing, where she was doing the unboxing and teaching the games in like 15 minutes? What was the name of that series?
What was the name of
that? It was with Will Wheaton and all them, wasn't it?
I forget was it Will Wheaton's Tabletop? I know a lot of people think we're that.
No, yeah, it was something
We're
like that.
not.
It's not. But to produce that show and to do a new game every week is a mind-boggling a lot of work, because you have to dictate the information
Game the game.
in the cleanest possible fashion, so that then I can take that and watch that 15-minute video and know how to play the game. Like, that is a style of writing and producing this very, very difficult. And then if you look at things like all your Tonight shows, that team is large that puts that together. Yeah, you only see the man at the desk and you only see the music group and maybe the guy holding the cards if you're watching Seth Meyers, but it is really time consuming to put a full show together like that.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that you guys got talent that has been doing this for a while makes me super happy. I'm really happy it's not a bunch of people that nobody knows, because I've seen another company try to do that and it did not go well. But being able to do this and have people who are passionate about it and are playing games and learn games quickly and want to talk about them, that's pretty sweet. Are you going to have, like, you had Matt come on to play games with you, but are you going to have people on to interview and have that talk show mentality at all? Or is it only going to be your team talking the news?
So we are going to have interviews as a part of the news.
All right, nice.
We are going to have a section. Again, so that'll be something where we've done an interview. Let's say, for example, just a story that is last year, but back when Sirenscape was upgrading their player.
Sure.
That would have been a time where, we know Dan Tharp, and it's like, hey, let's talk to Dan about what's going on here. So do a quick interview there, break it down. Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of the whole episode, right, where we're trying to hit that 12, 15-minute mark for our news, because, folks, even if you're watching the news on your TV, on Channel 7, whatever it is, it's going to be the same stories over and over again. So really, you're getting like 15 minutes of news just twice.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
So we're giving you 15 minutes of news.
You just pick your pretty face.
Exactly. We give the 15 minutes of news, and the interview isn't going to take up as much. We're going to give you the juiciest parts of that interview in that 15 minutes. And then we're going to say, here's the full interview.
Here's the full interview.
Be sure to check out the full interview. Again, it'll be on our YouTube for you. Depending on, I mean, an interview like that, we're going to pour into. It's going to be 10 minutes in and of itself. So that's not something that we can put up necessarily on a TikTok. I don't think they go to 10 minutes yet.
No, I mean, you could do 10 1 minutes.
Well, maybe. Here's the first minute of that interview.
Remember to upload those in reverse order.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Social team, remember.
I've made that mistake before. You're like, this would be
First
great.
Video you watched. Thanks for having me.
That's all social media, because the timeline is newest down, and everyone, like, we just did our Tales of the Valiant, which was be bold, be brave, be valiant, and I watched it go out, and I was like, uh-oh, this is in reverse order. Shit. It should have been put in the other order, but then everybody would have known what it was. So it's weird. But yeah, I think it's a great idea to be able to kind of break down a 15-minute piece and then a full segment if people want to watch the full segment as well. It looks like you guys have already hit the followers or subs for YouTube. Have you hit your hours yet to be able to be partnered yet? Or are you guys close?
We actually did just reach partnership, which is awesome. Wonderful.
Which takes a big burden of weight off on money too, because you can start really doing that part of it as well.
Well, and it's just I think that's a big thing to say, just because it shows again the community's behind it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
We've got a great team. It's like we've been really encouraged by how our socials have grown, and like that's a metric for marketing, for all that sort of stuff of who is supporting this, and we're seeing that support from the community, and we really appreciate it. I want to shout out JN3 Storyteller, who said, "There you go."
I saw that.
Total.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
It's the reason you do these.
Poster.
It's hoping people want to do this with you.
Yeah, I mean, to see that from JN3 Storyteller, it tells me that, okay, they want it. They want this, and it's not something that we're like, haha, we did it. It's like, no, our goal is to give you this news. Our goal is to do so in a fun, engaging way that makes you want to stay informed, because it's so, like we've talked about, it's so hard. What are you going to do? Scroll Twitter? Like, if you know that you
I
can
mean, you
just
can.
open Twitter, you can. It's a dark place.
Hope you curated your private list really well.
The Twitter keeps switching me to the like for you and not the following. I'm like, I followed people for a reason.
Yeah. Well, you got to pay.
Right. So but what we're going for is this mentality of like, just open up whatever your favorite, again, social media is. Open it up. Just go into your search, watch Tabletop. Boom. We're gonna have that for you. Thank you so much for that donation. That's we've
one
been really
more.
encouraged. Yeah, one more. I think the biggest encouragement as well, aside from people like JN3 Storyteller, has been the small businesses that have come alongside us. We've seen game stores invest in a segment sponsorship. I think it might have been someone from Detroit, Michigan, invested in. It was a game store from Detroit, Michigan.
Yep.
We've had
that city's rebuilding hard right now.
Yeah, we've had people like Cantrip Candles.
Awesome people. Know them as well.
We've got a lot of, and I don't have my list up right next to me right now.
Shame
but
on
when
you.
those,
Shame on you.
I know. Well, it's somewhere. Look, I'm one of those guys who has 1,000 tabs open at once. Because I could go find it. It would take me a while.
No, let's not do that. No.
But that's us wanting to promote the little guy, the BIPOC creators, the people who just haven't, because there are big companies out there, and the big companies have done big work in the space, and it's appreciated, and we will cover that news because it is news. But there are a lot of people who are writing one-shots, who are making entire coffee and tea businesses based around this, who are cosplaying and making costumes for people who really dive in, and they're going to Ren Fair, and they've got, or the dice makers. There are so many people out there who are trying to make this community a better place and trying to fill what they feel are gaps, and we're just trying to fill what we think is a gap, is a need, is that news source.
100%. It's weird that this beloved community that is blowing up so much since COVID. Like, honestly, the one good thing that came out of COVID is it's easier to find players now. Like, it's easier to find GMs. So many people have picked up the hobby. If there's one positive to take away from it, is that, and people learning technology to be able to play online together was also great. As someone who has to produce a show, less onboarding that I have to bring people on to run shows makes it so much more enjoyable and easier for my end, for the lift, so everyone's just on the same page. If I don't have to teach Roll20 and they just know it because they've been playing for 2 years, is awesome. So if there's any good out of it, that's one of the goods. So I did grab some questions from online from people I've seen that have asked you guys stuff, things that have went answered and unanswered, but things I thought would be good for this, and you can kind of go through some answers for stuff. So if the Kickstarter finishes out, when does this all start?
Production starts almost immediately, and I'll dive into that more. I do want to point everyone to chat where Katie Katie jumped in, one of our producers, and that's all the small businesses who've backed us at the episode sponsor, segment sponsor, or our social shout out. So thank you. Check those out because we're so excited to work with those companies. But when it comes down to it, now Kickstarter, we do have to wait. We have to wait a certain amount for the money
to roll out. Yep.
So there's that timeline there, but our mentality is as soon as boom, that day has ended. I think it's 1 p.m. Pacific on the 20th.
Okay.
Is our end time, if I'm correct. Again, that's up on the Kickstarter. But they once that boom hits, if we are like, yes, we have funded, then it's all right, make sure our backer kit is up to date so that everyone's going to be able to go and get their stuff and get us all that information. We're going to work towards getting everyone the things. But the other thing is going to be, okay, let's go. We got to get the crew together. We got to see who are we bringing on, because part of the stretch goals that we laid out in our stretch goals is that we can, with more money, bring on more people to help with workflow. We can give more money to the people who are working, right? We want to we want to pay people well for the work and the professionalism, the craft that they have perfected is worth that, and so we want to pay them what they're due. So that's all a part of our stretch goals. But so it funds, and we're in production. I think we're going to try to take a month month and a half to get everything lined up.
Sure.
And then we're
So
hoping
June.
to summertime, I believe, is our aim. So I think that's one of the beautiful things about this Kickstarter is that you know, when you've got a game that you're producing, you have to, okay, I funded and now I can go produce the game. We've got aspects of that. We've got physical things that are going to have to enter production and they will be mailed to you.
Yep.
You're probably going to see an episode of Tabletop News before you get the rewards for having backed Tabletop News.
I can tell you that production for physical products for Kobold Press, yeah, it takes a little bit longer. I mean, it is time consuming. You got to go through the print process and proof and all that stuff. So you guys will get to go right into production.
Yeah, and again, that's because of like our team. We've been producing a Kickstarter for so long that we're just itching to produce a show. So we're very excited to see that funding. I mean, I'm sure. Here's the thing: is if we are at that goal of 150,000 before the 20th,
I'm just gonna start filming.
We're already. I mean, it's just like, all right, let's go. Like we're gonna be like, come on.
Yeah.
Well,
that's awesome if you do it in June, because our Kickstarter for us is going to be end of May and through June. It's like it's lined up. We actually did not plan that, everybody.
We did not plan that.
Just happens to be the same time frame. So you get news. You get news.
Yeah.
Tales of the Valiant will be out, and we'll be kickstarting and doing all of our crazy stuff during that time frame. Which I can tell you right now, behind the scenes, I know what the ramp up for Kickstarters feel like.
Yeah.
It is wild, the amount of things you have to get done.
Here's the thing is, I'll just give a little insider scoop. Who knows how much I'm allowed to say? This might be the last interview I do. No, I'm kidding.
You're like immediately fired.
Yep.
Katie's back there taking notes.
Who turned off the Wi-Fi? No.
If we hear her yell from upstairs, I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah. June is very aspirational. Yeah, summer is more accurate. Okay. Thank you, the Dat Network. So I was thinking summer.
Quick update from Rady, the mythical unicorn.
Yeah, notice it's not someone named Rady.
No, it's not. That was named Rady typing that.
No. So yeah, summer 2023 is when we're aiming, but still well before your, you know, the deadline for the production of physical products. You're gonna be seeing us within a few months of us being.
That's awesome.
But yeah, what was I saying before that?
It's not a year turnaround, at least.
It's not a year turnaround. No, that's which again, I totally understand why games have to do that, right? You have to, because it's not, again, folks, it's not just make it, it's make it, ship it, distribute it, make sure it's going to the right people, make sure it's the right things going to the right people, because different people got different packages, and so it's all the packing, and there's a lot that goes to it.
The evil word is called logistics. That's the evil word.
That's the
word nobody wants to talk about. Yeah, it's logistics. Yeah. It's true. It's true. So, okay, the next question we had was, this is the hard one. We talked about this a little bit pre-show. Why was there not a pilot to showcase things to start? What was the reason to decide to wait on that versus doing it up front?
Well, we filmed...
Because you've obviously filmed stuff, just to be clear. We got a bunch of YouTube stuff to look at.
Concept footage. We've got concept footage because we needed to know what workflow was like, right? Because we are trying to establish what the show is going to be. We needed to know. We were doing concept footage for camera testing, light testing, sound. We were filming things, and we're like, oh, I gotta. Again, I'm the handyman, right? So there are things that are hung up here in the studio that happened while we were doing our concept footage days. That was us making sure that what we were trying to put together could work. And so, so we aimed that way. We said we're going to get this out there. Also, you know, the news changes. So, you know, if we had done a pilot. Yeah, right?
January again. Appointed January into February. That cycle has never been seen like that before.
Yeah. Everyone would have been like, wait, this is old. It's like, yeah, because it's... You're right. So we did our concept. We wanted to show you we've got a set, right? A set that I believe has been said. It's like, so far, we've done this on credit cards. Like, what we've done up until this point is on credit cards.
Yeah, I know what that's like, yeah. Feel you.
So we've got a set, we've got cameras that we tested out, and the lights that we've lined up, and all that stuff. So for us, that was a can we do it? And then we've come back in studio and finessed and tried new things. but yeah, I know a lot of people are hoping for a pilot, and you know what? That's going to be episode 1. That's going to be the episode you see and you're going to see that first episode out there. You're going to be enjoying it. You're going to say, I backed that. That pilot right there is thanks to me. We wanted to invite you all in on the journey with us. So
what about those who are not viewers walking in, but the things that you talked about before, your game stores, your companies, the people producing stuff? How do they contact Tabletop News to start getting ready? Because you know how Kickstarters are. You're planning a year out. Your ramp up's 90 days, 60 days, 30. Who do they contact, or where do they go to contact that stuff as publishers and producers and, you know, new to Kickstarters, like the person who just backed you in there? They're going to do a zine. How do people give you their indie news?
Yeah. So we've got, I believe we've got our website up.
Okay.
We've got a website there where people can reach out to us with stories. I think we've already had some people reaching out to us.
Oh, really?
Stories,
Oh, that's awesome.
Great. Yeah, we've had people saying, hey, you know, I've got this card game I'm putting together. I've got this thing I'm putting together. So we do have a website with contact information. You know, I'm saying all this. I am like 98% sure. Again, this may be my last interview. I know we have a website.
Well, there's 2 people in chat who work with y'all right now. So one of them drop it in chat for us, or send me a link and I'll drop it. You should be able to. I have it on right now. I was just curious as to where they do it, because I know people who may watch this on YouTube afterwards. One of the questions they're going to have is like, oh, I'm a new indie company. I'm a new third-party producer for 5e. Who do I talk to get you guys ready to go?
I do know that we also have a, there it is, Legend of Katie. We have a website. Otherwise, we check all of our DMs.
All of our DMs.
We do. I know we've been signing up through things. There it is. contact@tabletopnews.com.
Perfect.
We also have press@tabletopnews.com. So we've already been jumping on to some websites and just, you know, because companies have press releases, right?
Sure.
So we're sending that to those websites. But yeah, there you go. contact@tabletopnews.com. Reach out there. You know, we'll give it to you. And
I'll put it on. I'll put it in our description afterwards as well, just so there's a link back to, you know, the best way to contact you for doing this stuff. Because look, we are a big third-party publisher, and we are excited to see a news outlet come out. And I know internally, Kobold Press said, if you guys are doing on-site, when and where, so we can send somebody out to you to interview Wolfgang or Celeste about Tales of the Valiant coming out. We obviously want this as well, because for us to reach out to places, we're reaching to, like, you know, Wired and the comic book companies, or Comic Book News and IO9 and some of those. But having a video source would be great, besides doing it ourselves, going somewhere else to get an audience that we don't currently have, looking at what we have.
Yeah.
So
well,
that's
the
awesome.
Beauty. We are set up, you know, I think you were saying earlier, just the beauty of what has developed over the last few years. One of those things is the ease of a video interview. So yes, we can, if a company's like, hey, we want to be out there and we want to get on set and we want to do an interview, let's go, let's do it, right?
Yep.
Like we'll talk that out with you. But let's say you're a smaller company, but we would love to talk to you about what you're doing. We're set up to do video interviews. You know, we're set up to just.
I mean, you did live stream for ages.
Exactly. We are a live stream studio. We know how to. If anyone needs a live stream studio, no. Two Kings Entertainment. But we are set up to do that sort of thing. So in-person interviews, digital interviews, we are excited to have the opportunity to do both with companies big and small.
So is there a chance that we'll see Tabletop News do a live show aspect at some point? I know these are obviously going to be pre-recorded because of the amount of research, but there are a lot of, you know, news studios that are still live technical director doing some stuff on set. Is that something that you guys are looking at doing at all? Having a live feed for maybe backers or a Patreon, or maybe once a month you're doing a live show to, like, get information? Is there anything like that that is in the works?
Yeah, so I don't know if we have any live shows that like the live news mentality
exactly
at this point,
like for conventions, for example.
If anyone comes out or if anyone wants, you know, we've talked about the idea of going to conventions, I believe, again, it's a part of the stretch goals mentality. How can we get to conventions? Because, again, folks, you want a news source at a convention, that's great, but that's flights, that's hotels,
it's pricey.
that's... Yeah. Costs are just... money's just a part of life. And so we got to keep that, because we are a business, in mind. We would love to be boots on the ground, doing that sort of thing. We would love to be covering things and getting them up on socials. We also understand that there's breaking news, and we want to be a part of breaking news. So there might be a moment midweek where you'll see something that wasn't in the episode. If it's a big enough news moment,
or short form content's perfect for that. You have a setup already. You sit down for the camera, you hit go, and then you put out your short form content for it, which is great. Having a set, I always tell anyone who's going to stream, if you're going to do something that's a show, find a way to build a set in your room, because it makes it so much easier long term. I have a roller over here that has foam inserts. I slide in and out, and I can roll a set behind me.
There you go.
You have to have something, just because then you're just ready. You're ready to go. The mentality's there. It puts you in the headspace. But yeah, on site, I would love to see you walking around interviewing people at conventions, or having a sound booth at a convention where you get to do that stuff, because convention floors are real loud. If that's something in the future, that'd be great.
Yeah, we want to do that. We want to talk to, because again, we were just at WonderCon. We had a number of our producers doing a panel, and I loved just walking around, seeing the different companies there. Definitely swung by the gaming section, played some games with some people, learned some new games, and it was a ton of fun. And that's the kind of things that we want to be doing. Well, we want to be able to do boots on the ground. We want to be able to have a booth or a sound space and just like, boom, here we go. Let's talk.
Yeah, that's kind of like obviously future-proofing outside of this Kickstarter, but just I'd like people to be able to see the full plan of what Tabletop News is aiming to become if things go exactly as planned. Because everybody wants to be on a ground floor, you know?
Yes, and if you want to be part of that ground floor, I do know that there is a tier where you can call in while we film an episode.
Oh, really?
So you should be able to call in while we film an episode. And now look, there's gonna be
sending
sign. And
no, that's receive. That's amazing, by the way. Receive a personalized video message.
Yep. Yeah, you get a personalized
crew
message.
Up. I think that's it.
Is it crew up?
Is that it?
I think it's a little further. Crew
VIP
up, I know
room.
You get a T-shirt.
VIP room.
VIP room is.
I'm looking.
Hey, producers in the chat, are you gonna find it before us?
Hey,
I know it's down there, but the idea.
You know who will find it? Audience always finds it. I just put it in chat.
The idea though being that you can watch us. You're gonna have a link. You're gonna be watching us film.
Sure. Driving.
Katie's driving.
I don't believe you. I know you're upstairs. I don't believe you.
So there is that opportunity though to be in on an episode, to see what's going on, to say hi to the hosts that are in for the day, because I think that's one of the beautiful things is you're going to see someone new possibly every week. We've got a wide array of hosts, and we know that they are all very busy in this
kind of a call-in
mentality. Space. Yeah, and so we get to have them come in, and we'll rotate it through and have some fun there. But who knows who you'll see that day, but. It'll be a ton of fun. No matter.
We should have known this. The name says it all. Divination level is it's divination. We should have known that. Unicorn. Yep. We should have known that. There is the theory. This is a fan theory that really all the people typing in the DAT network is really just Katie typing as everybody.
You know,
we think that she's that talented to do
that.
So that's pretty cool. We're going to wrap up with a couple of rapid fires for you. This is for you.
Okay.
These are rapid fires for you.
For me?
Okay. Yeah, 100%. So you produce. That's what you're doing and hosting on the show, correct? All right.
Yep.
What is the most difficult thing for you as a producer? What is your thing you have to work on every time you sit down to produce?
I think right now the most difficult thing for me as a producer is the schedule of everyth
Scheduling it all? Yeah.
Scheduling it all. It's not just because of the people. Honestly, it's me. I've got a 8-month-old now. I've got a wife who's working. I'm a producer and host here, but I'm also an actor, so I'll get auditions. I host other places. So as a producer, my big thing is trying to find the schedule for myself to be available, for our team, line up all the meetings. I think that's probably the most difficult thing right now.
Glass Cannon just said the same thing. He's like, scheduling's so difficult.
Scheduling is tough. Because we're all such a big part of this industry. Again, like people have got different streams they're jumping on. They've got, they've got life that's just happening, and so the schedule is a big thing.
It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. I 100%. Restaurant industry is where I learned to do scheduling. That was a nightmare in and of itself. So the second one, this one is for you. If there is a game that were to come out today based on an IP, what would it be that you want more than anything else?
Oh, based on an IP. Okay, I'm actually really excited. This was just announced a couple days ago. There are a number of games coming out, and you can even see here, I wrote a Raiders of the Lost Ark shirt. Boom, Indiana Jones. Funko Games has just started to release some Indiana Jones games.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I am super excited because I've been an Indiana Jones fan since I can remember. I walked down the aisle to a quartet version of the Raiders of the Lost Ark theme. I dressed up for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's not bad in my brain because it was the first and only Indiana Jones movie I was able to see in theaters.
Okay.
And so because of that, it holds a very special place in my heart. Was it interesting? Yes. Are there things that I, as a producer, might have done differently? Sure.
The whole movie?
Did I get to see... Did I get to see Indiana Jones in theaters on an opening night? Yes. So that holds a special place.
I got to see Indy in the theater. It's obvious that I'm of an age where I got to see it in the theater. Yeah. The next one I think is fun, and all these are kind of news related because I know you guys have a lot of news stuff that you're going to be doing. You sent me a list of different kind of news topics that you want to do, but those, as we said, change a lot. But right now, the hot topic that has happened is we just saw the D&D movie do really well, which is mind-boggling because if you've seen the other ones, they were bad. I don't care who you are. They were bad movies. That you can like a bad movie. There's nothing wrong with that. But it was bad. Okay,
wait. Quick story on that. So
I'm in the second one, by the way.
Ooh, okay. Now I have to go watch the second one. I've seen the first one footage, of like the first trilogy or whatever.
Whatever it was.
Whatever it was. So I've seen the first one there. To the point of like I was like, this is an interesting movie, right? This was a time that I spent. And I kind of jokingly put it on my Christmas list. And then I finally, after like, I got it for Christmas. And then like 2 or 3 years later, finally went to watch it.
Sure.
And the DVD putzed out in the last 2 minutes. So, I'm like, really? I couldn't even watch the whole movie. So...
The short version, our group is in the extra features, and the DVD, I think it's the second one. It might be the first one where they went around Gen Con and interviewed people. They came to our table. We're in the middle of a game, and they just walked up to us while we're gaming. And I turn around and I yell at them. So what the fuck do you want? And I'm in the extra seats. Anyway, and I'm looking over their shoulder. They cut me yelling at them, and they asked somebody a question. It's hilarious. And then, so the reason I asked is we've finally seen it. The Mario movie fans like. That's a video game that's made it out. But what I'm excited for right now is John Harper's Blades in the Dark is getting a TV series. I am so excited for that. Is there a tabletop game, board game, RPG that you want on the silver screen? Or is like an HBO TV series? Is there something that you want? We've seen Harry Potter's getting their TV series, their Hogwarts style. We've seen all the DC and Marvel movies do well. What do we want for tabletop now? And it isn't D&D because we just got that.
Right. It's not D&D. That is a really good question. I'm trying to think through. I'm going to be honest. Oh, okay. I think here's one. I think you could get a great spy thriller out of Codenames.
Ooh, I mean, it would do well as a Netflix series, that's for sure.
Right? Codenames and like, we said, like, you said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Cold War spy.
I know right, yeah. Like, I think you could have some fun there, for sure. I'm going to be honest, I have a lot of games in my closet that are IP based. Mm-hmm. So I have, if you've ever played Legendary, the Marvel deck building game.
Sure, I have.
That's one of my go-tos.
It's fun.
I mean, I also think, let's face it, like a Munchkin could be a very funny I don't know if it's like an animated show, but like Munchkin, you're like going through the dungeon and you're just like throwing other players under the bus trying to survive.
Katie, if Catan the show was done like, was it Midsummer the movie, and it was a slow burn horror? Yeah, I think Catan would be great. Could you imagine if it was a slow burn horror movie?
How about we go the Game of Thrones Pretty Princess?
There you go.
That mentality of just like the gems you are trying to acquire.
Yeah.
And I will be the prettiest princess. I mean,
animated.
That's farming warfare. Yes.
Yes, it is farming warfare. Yeah, it's a farming warfare.
Just herds of sheep barreling towards each other.
Yeah, I always thought that, or I thought Ticket to Ride could make a really good tycoon style TV series.
Oh, that could be fun.
I thought that would be really good because there's so many railroads that are not currently in use that they could film on.
There are. You are very right there. I will say, so that this is a bit of a workaround, but I know that Disney just released a Thunder Mountain Railroad game.
They did.
And they actually did a comic series based on the Thunder Mountain Railroad 2015-ish, 2016.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Disney has not brought us a Thunder Mountain Railroad movie yet.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun. The comic was a blast, and I have yet to play the game, but just that mentality of a living mountain, some sort of mystical thing.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
Take us back to the Wild West and
100%,
work in
man.
some magic. Like, come on.
Well, awesome having you on. I'm going to give you the spotlight to give us your sales pitch, your pitch for why people should back the Kickstarter. Camera's all yours here, buddy. Let's see what you got.
Right.
Don't mess it up. No stammering, no notes. I don't know.
Well, folks, if you want to be as amazing as JN3 Storyteller, head on over to Kickstarter and check out the Tabletop News Kickstarter. We've got a lot of things there. It is a show that we have put together with our blood, sweat, and tears, but it is a true act of love. A news show that is going to give you quick, easily digestible news pieces already where you are. Are you on YouTube a lot? Great, it's going to be there. Are you someone who goes to Twitter for their gaming news? We're going to have stuff up there. TikTok, boom. Instagram, boom. We are bringing the news to you. Again, easily digestible, 30 to 60 second videos. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's going to be there on YouTube as well. We've got an amazing team of people who love games as much as you do, who play them in our free time, who invest in them, who see the fun Kickstarters and back them. We are a part of this community. We're not just coming in here as some producing team. We love it, and we want to bring you a news show that is all about this industry. Board games, card games, war games, TTRPGs. You want to talk about the live plays. You want to talk about amazing cosplays based on a game. This is what we're hoping to do. So again, please check out that Kickstarter. I will give you really quick what is my favorite tier on that Kickstarter as well. Currently, it is the $100 tier because you're going to get an amazing vegan leather click-clack mat is the tier. You get this amazing vegan leather dice rolling mat that has dice storage attached. Really easy, beautifully made, easy way to transport your dice. You also get a set of dice, and then because you're backing at the 100 level, you also are going to get the Tabletop News soundtrack, which is 35 songs and soundscapes that if you have an actual play, you can use. Or if you just want to use them at your table, boom. It is something to help create the atmosphere of your game. All of the hosts have gotten to pitch in on what it's going to be. A little behind the scenes of mine. I was posting about this on Instagram the other day, but I was like, hey, Howard Shore is amazing. John Williams, please. Let's get some French horns in there for that sense of adventure. Let's also have a moment of romance though, because there's even that place in the Indiana Jones theme that bum 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 bum. That is just so beautiful for me. And if you had that playing as your half-elf bard is professing his love to the gnome artificer, I mean, come on. So we've got that, and then soundscapes as well. I threw out a Wild West theme because I know there are some sweet Western TTRPGs out there. Or, again, play it while you're doing Thunder Mountain Railroad, the board game. And then I also suggested just a wonderful forest setting a la the Smoky Mountains, just near a rippling brook. that breeze going through the trees, the birds, maybe there's a creature that stomps by on the dry leaves. That's kind of what I was throwing out there. So I suggest the click-clack mat level. You get some dice, a dice mat, and then all those songs, and then everything else from the previous tiers. It's all listed there on the Kickstarter for you, everything that's available. That's my pitch. Please help us make this a reality. 85% of the way there. You could bring us to the finish line.
We already got one person who helped you guys do that, which is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. For those who have been here for Kobold Chats, you know this will be going up at Friday at noon for you. If you missed it or you want to rewatch it or share it with your friends, that is how you do so over on Kobold Press. We have a lot of news coming out for us here coming up over the next couple months, and I'm sure when they hit their funding, you'll probably see us over there as well. Tales of the Valiant is big. Our Gen Con is going to be enormous, and I have so many things that I can't talk about that are on my screen here taped that say do not mention these things, and they have dates on them, and I'm super excited because one of them is this month I get to talk about. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. So thank you everybody for joining. I know it's a very different Kobold Chats. We'll be doing more interviews as we go on. The next one next week we have Vineyard on with our first Project Black Flag a partner who's going to be doing a Kickstarter. It's live right now. And yeah, everybody, thank you so much for joining me, Nathan. This is awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
It was better having you here than Rady. And I'm kidding, Rady. I
exist.
still haven't talked to him. I don't think he's real. I think the text message was also Katie.
Might have been.
Katie says, she did say earlier, thank you for all the confidence when I'm shopping in Target right now.
Yeah, we've got another one of our fundraising live streams.
Oh, that's awesome.
That
That's
she's prepping
awesome.
For, so
Well,
sure to
Nathan,
check that out.
stay on in the background. I'm going to do a little closeout here. Any release date on Packet 3 this month? That's what I'll tell you, Frog. It's this month. It is this month, and sooner than you may think. That's what I'll say without getting myself in trouble for Tales of the Valiant. But if you are watching this on YouTube, as always, right where this thing is, here, there's going to be a little thing here. It's probably a video for you to watch. And over here is going to be the subscribe in my hand. Thank you so much for joining me for Kobold Chats and having Nathan and Tabletop News on. We're excited to see a news outlet here. It's something that's been missing in this industry for a while since Geek and Sundry has left us, and I would love to see them pick up the torch and bring us something more. So to everybody out there, don't forget, playtest packets out for 1 and 2, and we've already done 2 live plays, third one on the way. More news coming from us over the next month, and our Kickstarter starts at the end of May. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and I'll see you next week with Vineyard.